Live.
Yes, we are. Welcome back, people.
Cool.
Jump into rap stuff.
All right. Wish a N word would like a tree in this bee, and if a leaf fall, put some weed in that bee. That's my MO. Add a B to that shit. I'm effed up, tore down. I'm twisted, doorknob. Talk stupid, off with your head. N-word money talks, and Mr. Ed got a drum on the gun. Energizer bunny. Funny how honey ain't sweet like sugar. Ain't shit sweet. N-word on street like hookers.
Okay, so you read that like a math question, but I think I know what it is.
I mean, I'm not supposed to say this the cadence.
I know, but you take it to the extreme sometimes.
How?
Like you read it like an android.
That's
like,
what you're supposed to do.
Okay.
That was the rule.
And
it's very revealing too. This is a
motto. Drake and Lil Wayne.
Nice. Correct. Yeah.
Because I knew it from the first line, but the way you read it, I'd be like, hold on. Is it what I think it is? Yeah. What is it? You twisted, doorknob, some talk stupid. Mr. Head. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the part was wish a nigga would like a tree in this bitch. I knew it from
Wayne
there.
Line.
Yeah.
Wayne line.
Yeah. Now she want a photo. You already know.
You
only live once. That's a modern nigga. Yellow. Oh my God.
Perfect stroll song.
It is. God, I can't even tell you how many times I've listened to that song in our collegiate days. No.
Take Care.
Is it yeah, okay. That's fine. Whatever. He's laughing because I know everybody thinks that Take Care is like one of Drake's,
not everybody, but
like
he got a Grammy
best
for it.
albums. I hate that album. I hate it. It was
from the minute it came out.
A confirmation for me that I was not a Drake fan and never was going to be a Drake fan. Because if anything, I think that is the most authentically Drake album. Right? Like he's singing a lot. He's in his feelings. That's where Marvin's Room was. That's the album Marvin's Room was on.
Headlines is on there.
Yeah. Like it is, to me, it was Drake before he started.
It's long too. It's like 18 songs.
Yeah. To me, it was Drake before he started the whole, like, I'm going to imitate every other culture energy. And so I think it's probably the clearest cross section of like Drake musicality that you can get. Now I know a lot of people like love Views and his other albums, but Take Care, I think, like I said, it is the most concentrated Drake type of energy that you're ever going to get from any of his albums. And that's how I knew I didn't like him as an artist. Like just because
in his purest form.
He was just not my type.
Fair enough.
It was just not giving for me.
Fair
for
enough.
me. Yeah, but
I personally like, if you're reading this, it's too late. That's my if I was gonna put one up, that's fine. Even though technically that's more of like a playlist mixtape-ish type of thing. Yeah.
So. Okay. Yeah, that's a good shout though. Fire selection. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Wish a nigga would like a tree in this bitch.
Classic Wayne.
Period.
Wayne line.
I love that. I love it. Welcome back, friends.
What's up?
How y'all doing? Okay, y'all all right? It's been a week.
It has.
It's been a week. It's been a week. Okay, and we're gonna get into it.
I could say something real quick.
Yes, of course.
For those two of you that listen on Spotify,
come on.
I apologize if the audio episodes are very late and not as on schedule as the video podcast. It's just something we're trying to work through. So, or me trying to work through. So, apologies for that. We're gonna get it together at some point.
Listen, we love you. We appreciate you. We care about you, and we have not forgotten about you. So, hold on, stay with us, okay? But yeah, man, I was welcoming the people.
Yes.
That's what I was doing. Hey, look, I was talking about, there it is. I was talking about how much of a week it's been. I don't know about y'all, okay? But for me, or for it's been a week. It's been a week. But yeah, we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about all of the things, okay? And for those of you guys who don't know what all of the things is, what it means, okay? Let me take the time to introduce ourselves, okay? My name is Alia King, and this is my husband.
Carrot King.
Okay, and we are the One Thing for Certain podcast, honey. It's just me and my husband, okay, talking about all the things that married people like to talk about, which happens to be an amalgamation, okay, a melting pot, a cornucopia, if you will, of all of the things we just feel like talking about. All right, it's our time to get together, connect, you know, in the craziness that is our adult life, and kiki with our internet friends. That's just what we're here to do. We're here on Vibes, y'all. Okay. And so we're going to get into it. Look, we're going to start with our current obsessions. We want to jump into it. Do you want to start, babe?
Well, I think we should do the not so fun news first.
Okay.
Maybe my stuff is
it's a little
funner, lighter.
Okay, so we can end on a good note
with
the current obsessions. Fair enough. So I'll go ahead and start. Listen, y'all. I know by the time y'all hear this, this is technically old news, and you know we're kicking off your work week the way you like to, right here in your ears. But for us right now at this current moment, my current obsession has been now the plane crashes that have essentially been living rent-free in my head. It has been an incredibly anxiety-inducing and absolutely tragic event. There have been 2 plane crashes, one of which was an American Airlines flight that was leaving Wichita, Kansas, and getting ready to land in the Ronald Reagan International Airport in D.C. when a military Black Hawk helicopter collided with it right around 9 p.m. On the date of its landing. And since then, at this present moment, it is confirmed that all 67 individuals involved in that plane crash, 60 people on the American Airlines flight, 4 crew members, so 64 total on the American Airlines flight, and 3 people on the helicopter. All of them are deceased. I want to say 41 remains have been taken or retrieved from the Potomac. Recovered from the Potomac River where the collision and the 2 aircrafts landed. 18 families have been contacted to let them know that their loved ones have passed, and 28 remain to be collected.
They're going to be, as far as the 28, the fuselage, which I think is the main part of the aircraft. So if you take the wings off, basically the tube. Unfortunately, it's split into 3 different sections in the Potomac River where both of these aircrafts crashed. They're planning on doing getting that out of the river tomorrow. So by the time this releases, hopefully all of the bodies will have been recovered as well. So just wanted to add that. But
I appreciate it. And also the black box from the helicopter. And the American Airlines aircraft have been retrieved, and they are going to be I guess like the information from them is going to be downloaded and investigated. So incredibly tragic. Our hearts and prayers go out to every single last person on that aircraft and their families and loved ones who are slowly coming to the realization that, their family members or someone that they knew was unfortunately in that crash. And then We have the Lear 55 small aircraft. It was actually a medical aircraft that was transporting a pediatric patient
Yep.
that
And a parent. So 6 people on that flight.
correct.
They were en route to Springfield Branson National Airport in Missouri. Crashed in a neighborhood in Philadelphia. 6 people, 2 doctors, 2 pilots, the patient, and a
An
family
escort.
member, which I believe right now they're saying could have been a mom
My
or
God.
something like that. So, who were both getting treatment from out. So they haven't said the specifics about the type of treatment, but it seems like both of them were getting some type of treatment. And yeah, there's
The videos are horrific.
because it's from different. I mean, they got a Ring video from a Ring camera. Like, it's kind of insane.
And just to give a little bit more background, Carrick talked about where the destination of this flight was going, but it had just gotten off the runway, like
Yeah.
shortly after takeoff. Minutes after takeoff, you can see in the videos it falling to the ground and a massive explosion taking place shortly thereafter. I was literally speechless when I saw this crash. Speechless. It looks like something out of a movie, a horror movie at that.
There's videos of the DC crash, where it's a video of the DC crash too. That also looks crazy because it's at night and you just see this thing, which is, I guess, the helicopter, just meet up with the plane, and then there's just big burst of spark of a thing, and then it just falls into the. So it's crazy.
Yeah.
These are aircrafts midair, hundreds of feet in the air.
It was
minimum.
The American Airlines flight was 2,400 feet away from the runway. It was in its final descent. It was getting ready to land.
Yeah, in plain language, that's really not that far.
It's
that's
not
like
far
jumping
at all.
from one end of a room to another.
for an aircraft.
Yeah, no, like if you traveling 800 miles an hour.
Correct.
Like,
Correct.
That's not even being. I'm not even exaggerating. Right. That's kind of literally how fast airplanes go.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Absolutely horrific news. And so that's why it is my current obsession. It has taken up every part of my brain power in my spare time, because it's one of those things that everybody, I don't care how often you fly, you always kind of like hold your breath when you're taking off, and
Any
say a prayer when you
turbulence.
land,
Yeah.
and to know that they were that close.
Yeah, there was for the DC crash, the 60 people that was on that plane, I believe it was ice skaters or figure skaters, both from the US team as well as like Russian figure skaters, and they were, I don't know if they were on their way or coming back from a development camp.
Wow.
So it was them, their families, staff, obviously the flight attendants as well.
Right.
The 3 people on the helicopter, it was a training exercise that they were doing, and they have not fully released all 3 to the public, like the names and the faces and stuff. There's been a few. There's been one I think that they have released. I think it was the captain, I think, is what the rank that person had. But yeah, it's terrible.
And in light of all of that, obviously the POTUS has given his responses, and they have been.
He's had 2 press conferences so far, as of this recording, for specifically the DC. Nothing has been
correct.
Yeah, nothing
at the time of this recording, nothing has come from the White House specifically about the plane crash that happened in Philadelphia.
I suspect that there will be, because
of course.
Well, that plane was chartered via a Mexican company, and they were on their way back to Mexico. And so I, obviously you want your president to say something about two plane crashes that happened back to back.
Mm-hmm.
But given the circumstance and who our president is, I don't want him to comment on this one.
Well, given the inflammatory remarks that he has made
He will, but I
about the
don't want him to.
DC flight, I don't feel confident in what he's going to say. Well, you know what, I'll rephrase it as I feel confident that he's going to show his orange backside. So, he started off in one of his press conferences giving, condolences and saying that his, that all 354 American citizens are,
Hearts are with you.
Hearts are with you. And he started off good. He did. He started off good, and then quickly started to politicize the comments by insinuating that due to DEI hires that the FAA has failed in essentially assuring all safety protocols are being followed because of DEI hires. Now, just for anybody who's wondering what that means, he's essentially
blaming the past two administrations, Biden and Obama.
Not just blaming that. I want to talk more directly as to what that statement to me meant when I heard it, right? He is essentially reinforcing and justifying his purging of all DEI federally backed programs and incentives by saying and blaming that a person of color or anybody who will fall underneath a DEI initiative is somehow responsible for this crash.
Well,
there is no information to substantiate any of those claims. Yeah. Furthermore, okay, to use this tragedy as a springboard for your political assassination of federal laws that are supposed to prevent discriminatory actions in light of allowing merit and quality of candidates to shine through regardless of their sex, national orientation, nationality, ethnicity, race, sexual orientation, race, religion, all of the things, right? That he is somehow saying that because of those practices, that the safety qualifications and practices enforced by the FAA were lessened. That's who y'all voted for.
Yeah, essentially saying that it was a looser, it was a lot easier to hire. The standard was lower.
Low,
lower in regards to hiring prior to his administration, especially within like federal government, which is justifying his stuff, but basically saying that using words like more experienced, being
smarter,
you have to be intelligent to talking about the control tower, because obviously in a situation that involves two aircrafts that collide into each other proverbially like feet away from the control tower, there's something there. Like, what happened with the control tower? Did someone not say anything? Did the Black Hawk not say anything? The plane did what it was supposed to do. It was on track to land. And so this idea that inexperience comes into play, not being smart enough comes into play, needing to have extreme brain power in order to do these type of jobs, like being in the control tower, essentially saying that DEI is the reason why you have inexperienced people, and when you have inexperienced people,
accidents like this are bound to happen.
Things like this are bound to happen.
People are destined to die if people of color are in places in which they are responsible for the lives of others. That is essentially what he is saying. I don't even know if it's a dog whistle. You don't get any louder than that. It's a megaphone, but just a dog whistle way of saying that who he considers that is a part of DEI initiatives, right? Because again, just like affirmative action, DEI helped more white women than
Anybody else?
any other demographic that it reaches out to. But we digress. That essentially people of color or black people or whoever he considers as a part of DEI, we all know that he means black, okay, are less intelligent and therefore are not credible and qualified to be in these positions. Once again, there is no proof, there is no information, there is no knowledge of how this crash happened or who or who people are responsible for how this tragedy even unfolded. So that's great. Even furthermore, when he was asked if he was going to go and visit the site of the crash, he was like, "What? No, or what do you want me to go do? Like swim out there?
Yeah,
or something?
Yeah,
like, what do you?
Told the
No, I'm not
reporter,
gonna go.
Which, again, so that's there's been a few things between these two press conferences. He's wildly efficient. He's said a lot of things
Yes, he
that
did.
under normal circumstances would be at minimum entertaining and borderline funny. It's not though,
It
because
just isn't.
people died, you know, and
Every single last person died.
and military folks, you know, those are military people. And
Servicemen.
some of the beginning comments from him in that first press conference and on Truth Social, his platform that he still has, and on Twitter, he's hitting all fronts.
Yeah.
Were very interesting because he was talking like he was on live stream, like he was talking like he was one of like a regular person. He was just like, well, why did the helicopter not move?
Yeah, you couldn't go left, you couldn't go right, you didn't go up or down.
Yeah,
like what's happening?
What's going on with that?
Like valid question.
Valid question.
Everyone else, you don't see a giant plane coming towards you. What's going on? But we don't want to hear that from the president of the United States. We want to hear hearts and prayers, and we will allow, the literal hundreds of first responders. There's like over 500 people working around the clock in DC at the Potomac River at the site of the crash, who are trying to recover the site, retrieve evidence, all of these things. They're working tirelessly to figure out what happened. He didn't say we are going to let them investigate, but no one will rest until we figure out how this happened and how we can prevent it from ever happening again. No. Nope. He talks about who he thinks is responsible, okay, which there is no evidence to substantiate any of those claims, and is asking questions that honestly the rest of us have, but we don't want to hear be vocalized by the president. We want there to be order. We want there to be truth. We want there to be empathy, reverence, respect. None of which I feel as though he gave. So, yeah. Y'all.
Hearts and prayers to all of those.
Oh,
those
my
folks. Just to touch on the because I don't want to make it uneven. The crash that happened in Philly was a medical transport jet. It was carrying 6 people. It slammed into a northeast Philadelphia neighborhood. I'm getting this from Action News 6 ABC. And where was it going? According to the FAA, the Learjet 55 departed from Northeast Philadelphia Airport en route to Springfield Branson National Airport in Missouri when it went down. Jet Rescue Air Ambulance, which is a company based in Mexico, provides global air ambulance services. And Shriners Children's Philadelphia said that the patient and her mother had received treatment and were in the process of being transported back to their home country of Mexico. Now, some people may be wondering, why the hell did they come over here to get treatment? People, like, America on occasion does do some decent things when it comes on to, especially children's health care.
Yes.
I know y'all see those commercials for St. Jude. It ain't for no reason. And it be free. And these kids be having problems. I'm not saying
Yes.
that, you know, for example, like cancer treatment, St. Jude's is a real, you know, good, St. John's is another, like,
There's just more
there's more
resources.
resources here. And if, you know, a company like that doing what a service that is to be able to, this is thousands and thousands of dollars, treatment aside, just to transport,
That's right.
you know, on a private jet, have you and your child who's
Yes.
sick
Yes.
be transported to America to get their treatment and being transported back. It's, you know, partnerships with hospitals and stuff like that. So it's a good thing. It's just an unfortunate thing that this plane crashed, and that information in regards to where the plane was going, who was on the plane,
Right.
where they coming from, where they were going. If there was ever a place that maybe would not be this is maybe not the right time. I'm just concerned about if it is he gonna say something.
Of course, like
He
I
should,
think you are
because
concerned. Your concerns are valid because
very
given
concerned.
the racist and inflammatory statements he has made about Mexico, Mexicans, and their citizens, he, I mean, like I said, he
He's gonna,
literally
yeah,
blamed the plane crash that happened in DC on DEI.
that
What do
was
you
not
think
even a
he's going?
day ago.
And it came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it
Like
did.
it was just like, what? How did you make 1 + 1 = orange? I don't understand.
Blatant.
So who's to say what his remarks are going to be regarding this plane crash?
I don't know,
Let's
man.
just continue to wait and see. Let the circus continue. I saw this statement on Instagram today, and it says, when a clown enters a palace, he doesn't become a king. The palace becomes a circus. And so that's what we're watching. We're watching the circus. So,
Yeah.
again, our thoughts and prayers are with every single last soul that was lost in both of these crashes and their families and loved ones. But that is my current obsession.
Cool.
Bring
So,
us out of the dark, babe.
all right. On a lighter note, here are some historical facts that will mess with your perception of time.
Oh, damn.
Shout out to this Instagram page that I found called How History Looks. That's what it's called.
Okay.
Okay. So,
Excuse me.
Harriet the tortoise, who died in 2006, had seen Charles Darwin in person.
No.
Think about that.
No.
Think about that for a second.
Because Charles Darwin was 100-something years ago.
You know, turtles live
Turtles
really
be
long.
living.
150 plus
Oh my goodness.
on average.
Okay, so pause right there. Speaking of turtles, okay. Do you remember? Oh, so in case you guys didn't know, and there's no way you would, only our close friends would know this because we've never talked about it on this show before. But Avatar: The Last Airbender is without a doubt one of our favorite shows in this household.
100%.
Okay, we have watched that series, no bullshit, at least 5 times.
And then we're due again to watch it.
We are due. We are due again to watch it.
Game of Thrones too.
Wow. But right before Aang knew that he had to fight Fire Lord Ozai, he basically ran off, right? Because he was trying to find a way of how could I neutralize this op without taking his life. Like, I am an air nomad, and seeing as how I am the last air nomad left, I cannot forego all of the teachings that have basically made me who I am by killing a person. I was taught that all life is sacred. And so he ended up encountering a lion turtle that it looked like an island, right? That was just out in the middle of, the ocean that he went to. Momo was with him. And when the gang tried to find him, he was completely gone. And there was no way to track him. But that doggone lion turtle was by far, of all the animals invented fictional animals of the Avatar: The Last Airbender series, the lion turtle was by far my favorite because they are the oldest beings in that universe, right? Like if actually in Korra, the story, the legend of Korra, when they go back and talk about how the Avatar came to be, my favorite part of that entire series, was that explanation.
That 28 minutes is gold.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
It was a couple of episodes in which they were.
Okay.
It wasn't just in one episode. Yeah, it was a couple. It was yes.
The first Avatar. Yeah.
They actually explain how the lion turtles were the ones who first possessed bending abilities and would give them temporarily to humans so that they can use them. So amazing. But that fact just made me think about the lion turtle. So I digress.
Shout out to turtles.
Shout out to turtles.
I lost my page.
Oh, I'm sorry. I done took you on a whole nother journey and made you lose your place.
It's all good. Okay, here's the other one.
Yeah.
Marilyn Monroe.
Okay.
And Queen Elizabeth.
Okay.
We all know Queen Elizabeth.
Come on, Big Lizzie.
Marilyn Monroe, Queen Elizabeth. They were born in the same year, 1927.
Oh, damn. Well, Marilyn died young.
Unfortunately. Yeah. 50s, I believe. She died.
In her 50s? No.
In the 50s.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, she didn't make it to no 50?
No.
Yeah, okay.
I think she was like 30 something. Anyway. So that was an interesting one.
Wow.
Cleopatra.
Come on.
Was closer to having an iPhone than seeing the construction of the Great Pyramid, Giza.
You know what? That actually does not surprise me because I think on the podcast, Wait, Don't Tell Me, I think it's that podcast. Either that one or another one. That's the name
of the podcast?
Wait, Don't Tell Me. Yeah.
Really good name.
So good. Some of these names are incredible. It's either that one or another one that I can't remember the name of right now. But the Great Pyramids of Giza, they were constructed during the same time woolly mammoths existed.
Yeah.
Woolly mammoths.
Yeah. Two different sides of the world, though.
And we were talking about this last night, how incredible time is, because
time is incredible.
Time is nuts. The Great Pyramids of Giza were constructed over 4,000 years ago.
I thought it was 5,000.
It's somewhere in there.
I think
thousands and thousands of years ago. We're talking about, we are in 2025, year of our Lord Jesus Christ, 2025, meaning that
let that hit zero.
2,000 years, 3,000. 2,025 years after his death. We talking about 2,000 years before that.
Yeah.
We might as well have been in a different dimension. Yeah, it's not even the same planet. The air is not even the same. Yeah, people don't look the same.
Yeah, people don't look, which we know because
they were very small.
We saw it when we went to Egypt. That's why museums are important.
Oh my God, we love museums.
Yeah,
so enriching.
Yeah, it might as well be in the future. Like there are
that's how far in the past it is. It might as well be in the future. Might as well be
in the future. There are things that they can do. When we were in Egypt, they explained how they did, for lack of a better term, embalming.
Yes.
And how they took care of, obviously for like pharaohs and people of royalty, the ingredients that they would use to wash the body, retain the body over time, and the mummification process. Yes. You can't find that shit no more. Same thing with Greece when we went to Greece.
Huh.
Concrete?
That concrete? Yes,
yeah,
it is.
They're concrete. We don't know how they made that concrete. It's stronger. Clearly,
because it needs no rebar. It requires no rebar.
Yeah, different.
Insane.
Different.
The Pantheon, the one that got a big old hole up in the sky, no rebar. That is all concrete, all self-supporting. Incredible.
Insane.
They got cobble roads that last longer than any asphalt road that we have in America. They got streets down there that's been there for thousands of years, still working.
No maintenance.
No potholes to be found.
Yeah.
Wow.
Here's another one. Some Greenland sharks alive today.
Okay.
May have been around before Henry VIII was crowned King of England.
Damn. Sharks are another one who's sharks.
Well, it's big ocean. So
big ocean. Sharks and turtles. Their like design, the patterns on them things, they have looked the same for thousands of years. They have only shrunk. in size. Like when I tell you there's been no like.
And turtles keep growing, I believe.
Oh yeah,
Until
turtles don't stop. They don't stop.
Sharks
growing.
too.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, sharks can't like inhale. They have to keep moving. Like water has to pass their gills in order for them to breathe.
In order for them to get oxygen.
Yeah, they are not like a regular fish where they go and they inhale and exhale the water. They have to get that. That's why they swim in their sleep. There's no like settling for them. They're constantly in motion.
Interesting. Here's another one.
Yes.
The T-Rex existed closer in time to us than it did the Stegosaurus. I'm gonna have to put
the Stegosaurus.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Okay, no.
But
damn.
Dinosaurs also have an interesting place in time because dinosaurs, when we think, first of all, dinosaurs as the term is probably used wrong a lot of the times because there are dinosaurs that represent a frame of time.
Yes,
and then there are
eras.
other creatures over the course of millions of years.
Come on, millions.
Periods.
Come on.
Periods of time we're talking about. So when you think of the T-Rex and the things we know from Jurassic Park and Land Before Time and all of that, they
didn't all exist at the same time.
They did not all exist at the same time.
You know what blew the fuck out of my mind? You remember when we went to DC and we went to the National Museum of like Human, whatever. Yes. I can't remember. We will plug it here and look it up. But I did not know that there were different species of humans the same way there are different species of cats, right? Like there were all types of humans, and the Homo sapien is just the last one. We are the last surviving species of humanoid beings on this planet.
Yep.
We're just the ones that survived.
And in that museum, they show you a like life-size.
They are actual like busts and like replicas and sizes. So there were literally humans that looked like Oompa Loompas, for real.
Yeah. Like
they were very, very small and like lived in trees and like little huts, and it was nice.
Yeah, you want to go to, if you have kids and you want to have them go to a place that they can repeatedly go to and have a different experience every time, DC is the place. Free museums, and there's like 8 of them.
Oh my gosh, it's so amazing. Yeah. When I tell you, we walked around that place, no joke, for like 3 hours and ran out of time. They were like kicking us out because we were like, wait, we didn't make it to this museum. It was like running through certain exhibits. It was really incredible. Good. What a date. That was such a fun trip. That was for your birthday, right?
Yes.
That was such a fun trip.
That's where we saw Remy for the first time.
Yes, we did.
And
Queen Latifah. Yes, we did.
And Adam Blackstone.
Yes, we did. It was for the 50 years of hip hop.
Sure did. It sure did.
That was fun.
Let me see.
We had a time, honey. Dang, we ate good, too.
Okay. Speaking of woolly mammoths.
Okay.
Today's oldest living tree.
Lord Jesus.
A Bristol cone pine was already 1,000 years old.
Stop.
When the last woolly mammoth died. So think about that.
Say that one more time for the people in the back.
Today's oldest living tree was already 1,000 years old when the last woolly mammoth died. So it was alive, saw them be resurrect, them age and evolve, and then die off. And it was just
and it's still here.
Oh, well, look, they're all gone now.
Is that tree protected?
I would hope so.
Wow, the things that tree has seen.
Trees are another one. Incredible.
Wow.
Incredible. It's on my bucket list, actually.
If these leaves can talk.
It's to go see those giant sycamore trees. And where are they?
I think they're in California.
In San Francisco somewhere?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. We gotta go and take a hike in one of them big ass.
I'll take my shoes off and hug that and just hug the tree. It's on my bucket list.
Right there.
Right up there with seeing a blue whale. It's just
oh yeah.
It's right up there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. This is fun, by the way. I am enjoying this. I love it.
Let me see. I got 2 more left.
Do this more.
Well, I got lucky. I stumbled upon this.
I love it. Okay.
The last battle involving samurai.
Fuck. Okay.
Fun fact: samurai is plural and singular.
Yes,
I think.
it is.
Yes. The last battle involving samurai was in 1877. To me, that felt real late. For some reason, when I think of samurai, I think of like feudal is it feudal Japan?
Yeah.
Feudal Japan, which is, again, I could be wrong, but that feels like 14 something.
It probably is. Remember, they're saying the last battle involving samurai.
It's just impressive.
It's just basically the end of their timeline of the era of the samurai, right? Because for most of Japan's existence, they were completely isolated, right? And so with the advent of and the regular use of gunpowder for like muskets and bullets and things like that, they were still using, steel. And to be honest, like, samurai swords has this huge allure of being like these, like katana specifically being these
wildly sharp, cut through paper,
completely unbreakable, like swords. When in actuality, the quality of the ore that can be sourced in Japan was actually quite brittle and not very. I'm not saying it was a poor sword, but it is not to the lore that we have propped it up to be in media.
Shout out to Shogun on.
Shout out to Shogun.
You want to see samurais in
what
action?
A show! No, you want to see the fanaticism of honor and what it means for the Japanese people. You want to know how you really not about that life? Watch Shogun. You ain't about it. You don't care about nothing as much as these niggas care about everything.
Yeah.
Everything is worth dying for. Everything. They don't care about life. What is life? They die like they can respawn.
Yeah.
That's how easy. That's how willfully for honor. That's how willfully they will throw their life away.
Yeah, I don't think Ned Stark is that bad.
Not even him.
Yeah.
God, I want to rewatch that show now.
What, Shogun?
Yeah, it was a show. First of all, it was stunning. It was shot incredible. Incredibly. The acting was.
Well,
amazing.
I can tell you that the showrunner, the producer, the director, that guy.
Wow.
DEI hire.
Isn't he just?
So, something to think about. Go watch the show and
Please,
then enjoy it.
It's so good.
And then think to yourself, that was a DEI hire,
wasn't it?
Dang.
Oh.
Dang. God. Last one.
Yes.
The Duke of Wellington, who defeated Napoleon
at
Waterloo in 1815.
All right.
Lived long enough to be photographed. Don't know much about the Duke of Wellington. Don't know too much about Napoleon. But I do know that Napoleon was real. This was a while ago, and the fact that this man who defeated him lived long enough to be photographed, which I believe being able to be photographed was like early.
Puts him somewhere in the 1600s. Am I wildin'?
When was photography?
Yeah, when was photography invented?
Was
because we all the only reason why we know what Napoleon Bonaparte looked like is because that super famous picture of him on a white horse that's mid
1822.
Oh wow, I was 200 years off. 1822. I said 16 something.
Yes.
Wrong. Damn. Okay. Yes. And so when did Napoleon? I guess I don't know. I genuinely don't know a whole lot.
Yeah, this is big. This last one was Big White. So,
Big White. I would like to watch that movie Napoleon. I think it's on Apple TV. I heard it was very good.
History piece. I'm down.
Okay. Sure. I'm gonna watch it.
That's all I have.
Bravo, babe. That I was thoroughly engaged.
Yes.
Thoroughly.
How history looks, I'll put their page up.
How history looks.
Shout out to you guys. They have 1.7 million followers.
Now they about to have another sub because wow.
Yeah. So if I find more,
interested.
Really
I love that. Here. Not bad at all. Okay. we got next? So
I think you have a member win.
I do have a member win. Okay. So, as you all know, we are absolute stands for Abbott Elementary. Okay. It's our show. I had to fight really hard not to make it my current obsession again.
Oh, because of the new episode.
Because it's just so good. But the most recent episode did make me think of this member win. So one of our favorite characters, Gregory Eddy, has a very restricted palate when it comes to stifled, dwarfed palate for food. He does not really like anything.
Well, I know two things he likes: buttered noodles
and water.
Boiled chicken sandwiches.
Boiled chicken, buttered noodles, and water.
Yeah.
That's what he enjoys.
And if you don't watch the show, you may be asking yourself, what kind of black man eats like that? Well, he gave great context. Came from a military family. Dad was really strict. They ate the same meal every week. He said, as he would say, they ate for efficiency, not for pleasure.
For enjoyment. Mm-hmm.
And so, growing up in an environment like that,
that sounds exactly how you raise a global terrorist. That sounds like how a villain is created.
He became a teacher. God bless him. A good one at that.
He's a good one too. Kids love him.
Another DEI hire. Anyway.
Okay. So, but yes, that episode made me think of this question. So, do you remember when you used to eat ridiculous stuff? Like
things that you shouldn't be eating, or just
any of it, anything that you would look back at now and say, I used to eat some weird shit.
I can think of two things.
You can think, okay, let me hear them.
You want me to go? You sure?
I can go.
Go.
Okay, so one weird thing that I do remember eating as a kid, and I didn't eat this often. It was a one-time try, maybe two. Back in the 90s, flavored chapstick was all the rage.
What?
Yes.
You ate chapstick?
Ate is a strong word. Okay. So, we used to have the little strawberry chapsticks. There was tangerines, there were lemonades, there were watermelons, there were all grapes, all types of different flavors. Like the same way you have all the colors of the rainbow, there were colors of the chapstick spectrum, and every color had a flavor, and you can just live your life. And so, being a young black child, walking around with lips this size, okay, you can't walk around with dry lips. So my mom used to always make sure that we had chapstick on us. And so me and my cousin, we used to put on the chapstick and lick it off. And then one day we were just like,
chop.
What do you think? It's like, just kind of rolled it up and just and just took a bite out of it. It was a bit too obviously greasy for like full blown consumption, but for a while I would just put on the chapstick and just every now and again just take a taste of it, and that was my jam for a long time. Another thing that wasn't weird that I ate, nope, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Okay, so my dad was not a huge fan of like Kool-Aid. He didn't like that we ate it, but it doesn't mean that we didn't have Kool-Aid substitutes. Okay, do you guys remember those instant like lemonade like powders? It was plastic, already the big thing, white plastic lid. It was always in this kind of strange like oblong truncated kind of shape.
Came in pink.
There was a pink lemonade one that we used to love. It was already it all you had to do was add
every time, like God. It fog.
When you opened it up and you inhaled it, you could taste the sugar because it was basically powdered sugar. And so I'm pretty sure all of that probably gives you cancer now. I'm almost positive. But back then, but all you had to do was add water. It was great.
It was really good.
What I used to do, I used to take some and put it in a paper towel, right? Twist it and just suck on it. So basically I made a lollipop. Obviously I did not
you wet
eat
the paper towel, or did you just
No, well, the paper towel became wetted when I ate it, right? So, but like to get it a little soft, to get like the paper towel to hold it properly, I probably did like dampen it a little bit, like dampen it and then like wring it out so it just had some pliability to it. Put a little bit in there, twist it, and pop it in my mouth, and literally just suck the sugar like out of the paper towel, and essentially made myself like a real ghetto lollipop. But yeah, those are two things that I used to do as a kid.
There's a few of them.
Oh Lord.
I was a Black Caribbean child.
Come on.
Who was very curious. But I'll do three. So chalk.
Used to eat chalk.
Not like the stick and you bite it.
Uh-huh.
Like,
oh, I couldn't imagine the feeling of chalk on my teeth. I literally just fathomed it, and it made me cringe.
Not that way.
The dryness of it.
It was the chalk dust. Yeah, that like or back in the day, you used to have chalkboards like installed into classrooms.
The little holder down at the bottom. Oh, it has ton. You used to just
yeah, all the time. Or walking out of class. Easy money. Yeah.
It had no flavor though.
It was a texture thing.
Oh, you just like the dust of it.
Yes. And I really like chalk as a thing too. It was fascinating to me to see people. It is
very satisfying.
Yes. A fresh stick of chalk.
Not just a fresh stick of chalk, because sometimes a fresh stick of chalk is too squeaky. Like the sound of it is a little much. But I like the ones that's already kind of been written a little bit. But the best part is when you have a freshly cleaned chalkboard, when it's still just a little bit damp.
That used to be in middle school, that used to be a chore that kids signed up for to clean the chalkboards at the end of the day, because you just wet it, you have your sponge, and you make your designs and stuff.
And you have to clean it several times, because if you didn't, it would just end up streaky. And nobody wants a streaky chalkboard.
Yeah.
But yeah, nicely fresh. I love the tapping of it. There was something just... I loved listening to the cadence of someone writing on the chalkboard. You ever seen someone who had really nice handwriting on the chalkboard?
I had two teachers that I can think of right now that I would just...
How did they write in a straight line?
In a fully straight line.
I used to write in angles all the time. It pissed me off.
Perfect lowercase letters, and there was a couple students there too. They call you up on the board and they're like, okay. And I'm like, dang, I've never had good handwriting, ever. Yeah. Even when my aunt taught me how to write in cursive, it still wasn't great.
Good handwriting, like good penmanship is a lost art.
It is.
You can only find it on Instagram for the people who make those satisfying videos of like the markers. You ever watch calligraphy? People who like...
Oh yeah, people who
can literally write like they are typing.
Yeah, write with pencils with no erasers. Those are real.
My God, today I could watch those videos 4 hours.
Yeah,
it's pathetic.
So chalk is one. What was it? Chalk, baby powder.
Okay, so that same kind of chalky. So to me, those are the same category. Right in the hand?
Yep. Okay. When my cousin was little, you know the cousin I'm talking about. My cousin was little, and baby powder was in the house plentiful.
Oh, man. Babe.
Yeah. Last one.
Not that talcum.
It wasn't talcum. It was Johnson & Johnson. And baby powder tastes different. Everyone's baby powder is not made the same.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It tastes different.
Come on, baby powder connoisseur.
But yeah, baby powder. And then the last one, which I don't feel that bad about, because I found out that my uncle was also doing this too. So dumpling, right? When you make dumpling and you have it kneaded and stuff like that, and you have the dough, it's raw.
You should just eat it.
Yep.
All of these have the same ingredient, a floury, chalky substance of some sort.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was your jam. When did you grow out of it?
Which ones?
All of them.
Well, at different stages. That's what I'm asking. I'm not doing it now.
You made me squint my eyes. I'm like,
no. But they were all in different phases of my... I, to be honest with you, the dumpling thing, haven't really grown out of that one. It just hasn't been in front of me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't find that any more like different any like it is not as like distant to me than like eating cookie dough.
Exactly.
It's similar. It's just a different flavor profile,
It's
but the
exactly the same.
overall primary ingredients are pretty similar.
Yeah, and then I there wasn't as much like, don't do that in my house, for that, but there was a little bit of it just because they didn't, they would say stuff like it's gonna mess up your stomach and it's gonna get stuck in there and all this other stuff. But one day I saw my uncle do it and I was like, get the F out of here.
It can't be that bad.
Can't. I was like, okay, cool. So
Yeah,
those are my
hilarious.
My three things.
Put in the comments what you used to eat weird as a kid. Everybody did it. It's okay. This is a safe space. We listen. We don't judge. Okay?
Some of y'all used to eat dirt and bugs, so I don't want to hear it.
That's a fact. Some people used to eat dirt, without a doubt. Yeah, kids eat weird stuff for sure. Okay, babe, you want to do a Am I Tripping?
Sure.
Let's do it.
All right. Am I tripping? My wife spends all her money on her adult family members. So.
We read this one.
Did we?
Yes.
Dang it.
I remember it.
Try again. Am I tripping? My husband and I have been happily married for 5 years. He has a 14-year-old from a prior relationship. And his ex petitioned the court for 14 years of back child support.
Oh, no. We ain't read this one, child. I would have remembered this because this is some mess. Okay. What?
His ex, I'm going to start over.
Yes, please.
My husband and I have been happily married for 5 years. He has a 14-year-old from a previous relationship. And his ex petitioned the court for 14 years of back child support, despite him being a present dad. I told him that as much as I love him, there ain't no way, and ain't no way is in here.
Okay.
There ain't no way in hell I'm letting my income factor into her fraudulent back child support scheme.
Okay.
I suggested that we get a divorce on paper only to protect my assets. But he said if I filed for divorce, our relationship would be over for real. Am I tripping?
I'm not going to lie. I think this is the best Am I Tripping I've ever heard. This is a debacle. Okay, so let's take it step by step. Couple married for 5 years. The husband's ex is petitioning for 14 years of back child support payments for their 14-year-old child that they have together. I'm wondering how that's possible. Like, this is a technical question. I don't expect you to have the answer for this, but just
I think I already know what you're about to ask.
But how is it that they can petition for 14 years of back child support payments when they never filed? Like to say that it's back child support payment, but you never filed for it, and the father is present in the child's life, meaning it's not like. And I could be speaking ignorantly for those of you who are in who have blended families or who have
actually
children.
Know the answer to this one, but
like I don't know how the child support system works. I don't understand that entirely. But like, how is it that if me and you share a child and we do not have a formalized legal amount of money that I am obligated to pay in order to support that child, right? That is what child support is. How can you then file for it for 14 years? Like, it's not like I was hiding, I was ducking you and you were trying to retrieve payment from me, but you have been dodging it, right? Because there are people who do that and they will garnish your wages and things like that. If they find you, they will get that money from you. How do you get back pay?
So I don't know if it varies by state. I know for sure in New York, and I know for sure in New York, and I'm pretty positive in like southern states, like where we live in Georgia. This is not an uncommon thing to do. Up until that child turns 18, if you file for child support, You can go from 0 to 18 and owe that thing. You may not owe it all at once, but you're gonna owe it. Being a present father, that part or that half doesn't matter, because that's the court don't know nothing about that. Now you can go to court and explain that, but because this is why people say, and I would do this too, put yourself on child support immediately. Because if you don't, you will leave it up to
the courts to determine how much of a contribution you actually made to this child's life.
And the story is ahead of you now, because if you don't put yourself on child support, 50 Cent did this. Matter of fact, 50 Cent did this for his first child. He put himself on child support.
Whom he does not have a good relationship with, by the way.
He has a perspective on that, but sure, he doesn't have a good relationship with his child or the mom, and so he, if you put yourself on child support, it puts you in front of the court. It puts you you get control a little bit of the perception against the common perception.
Yeah, I think it just shows the courts that you are not trying to
dodge
your responsibilities for
anything.
Exactly.
And it prevents from things like this, where you can go again, because if like you said, if whether I can find you or not, it doesn't matter to the court. Are you on child support? No.
And
is this your child?
How much money are you giving to this person, and how can it be determined? Because when you're not on child support, there's no
clean records.
Consistency.
There's no consistency, and there's no real records. It's
Correct.
just he say, she say. So you could give her $600 a month. Again, this is why you put yourself on child support.
Which is not enough to take care of no child. Not today.
Or you can give her 10 grand a month, 15 grand a month. If it's not on paper, if you don't have any type of record of it, and you just been giving this person that cash, when they go to court and you say that to them, depending on the judge, you may get some leniency here or there, but the fact still remains, it's more times than not, it's not going to count for you at all. It's going to net out to be nothing, because this is the first time we're hearing about it.
Facts. And so we will have to do the due diligence to see a record of repeated financial contributions from you to that child.
And most people, when you have a relationship like that, and you should do this as a man, you should do this as a man. You should keep record of it. You should make sure that those transactions, when you're ready to go to court and to fight something like this, she not gonna bring those transactions.
She don't need to because she has a child.
You need to bring every check. Don't give her it in cash. Get something where you can get a receipt, do a money order, whatever you have to do,
nigga, with
something so that you can keep track of it. That could help. That could help.
Now I'm about to say there has to be bank statements of some sort.
Yeah, that can help with determining your consistency in obviously financially supporting the child.
Right.
Whether or not you are there is irrelevant.
Okay.
It's irrelevant in the court. Are you financially paying for this child?
Okay.
If you being there for the child, that's a custody thing. That's a time thing.
And I find it hard to believe that if there is some type of custody, like if they have a 50-50 type of custody, then you've gone to court for that.
You have to.
Right, exactly. Which means that there has to be, so if the father has the child for 6 months out of the year, there's no way that they've made no financial contributions, right? So your whole point is there needs to be a paper trail of some sort. So let's move on to the second part of this. Am I tripping? The wife of the man who is
5 years married,
who is being I guess charged with these,
he's being patted down.
For these back child support
patted down
payments, basically said that she does not want her money factored into the calculations of what her husband would owe, which is something that happens.
It would.
Yeah, it would. And so she said, I want a divorce. And her husband said, you gonna get one for real though.
I see both sides.
I do too. That's why I am in such shock.
I see both sides. It takes a certain level of maturity and scheming. Not scheming. proper planning to put forth something to say, okay, she tripping.
Or maybe
We need to
she's
split
not.
this. Or maybe
Or
she's not.
maybe she's
Or maybe
not.
she's not. Or maybe
Do
she's
you
not.
remember? Do you remember the whole situation with this is gonna be funny with Scrappy and Erica?
Oh Lord. Mm-hmm.
She never had Scrappy on child support.
She threatened
And
him every second she
all
could.
the time she would be, okay, I need money for Imani, I need money for Imani. And then
That's the common
it
perception.
was, and then like right around when she was like 13, 14, she was like, I'm gonna put you on child support. And he tried to like act as though she was acting crazy. And then she literally, because Mama D confronted her about it, and I think it was something, don't quote me on this figure, and she was like, if somebody owed you $25,000, would they be like, what would you do to him? She was like, they wouldn't be living. And she was like, well, that's your son.
Yeah, that's not one payment. That's back child support.
That's back child support, right? So we don't know. This card is very vague. It gave us all the salacious part. We don't actually know the quality of this man's.
Well, we have to take it out. We have to take it because it says despite him being a present dad.
But like you said, present does not mean financially supportive.
Right. So that's another thing.
Because he can pop up every weekend
for y'all,
but it don't mean that he's giving. She still gotta go to school, get clothes, supplies.
In my opinion, this is just my opinion. This hasn't happened to me, but if it was me, and I had a situation, or we had a situation, there's two things that I would initiate. I would hope. I'm saying this as someone like kind of trying to think of putting myself in the shoes.
Yeah.
There's two things I would do. I'll put myself on child support, and I am immediately going to figure out custody immediately. Because for me, at least in America, and we live in the South.
That's right.
If you don't, as a man, if you don't be proactive about seeing about your children, it's going to be told to you. Yes. It's going to be dictated to you.
That's
you
right.
won't have control over it.
Right.
I'm just going off of the experience. We talked about Scrappy. I have friends. Listen, man,
it gets real in the field.
If you don't be proactive, if you don't think that this is going to be a thing that work out, don't wait until don't make her decide. You go put yourself on child support.
Don't make the courts decide.
You go file for custody. It doesn't mean you got to take the child away from her unless, the child is in danger or something.
Yeah.
But go file to make sure that you can see your child.
See your baby.
Legally.
Yeah, you're not having your child on layaway. You can't see them until you pay up a certain amount.
Because otherwise, they going to just assume that you just like everyone else. It doesn't matter how good of a father you are.
Yeah.
When you have to go to court, if they don't see you first and she coming in there first, don't let her beat you to court. I think that's the trick. Like
when it comes back to the car, when it comes to the wife and her basically saying, I don't want my money to get snatched, I can understand that initial sentiment. But when you are married, you assume the other person's debt. It is just a part of becoming a union. They
didn't know that this girl was going to do that to
They
him.
didn't know, but she knew full well that her husband had, listen, when she met this man, that child was 9 years old.
Sure.
You understand what I'm saying? So she obviously knew he had a kid. And how is it that you don't know what he is contributing financially? And if you feel as though he has a decent leg to stand on because you know his character, you know he does for his child, why not stick by him? Why not be like, listen, we'll fight this together. And if she wants to come after our wages, she's going to have to get it back in blood because she's not going to get a single more cent of our money. I can
tell you based off this card, she will.
You think so?
100%.
That's
100%.
I feel like the wife, and I am assuming because we only know what's on this card, but I feel like the wife feels as though the ex has a really good chance of winning, which is why she wants to get a divorce on paper. Like divorces cost money. She's gonna have to get a lawyer.
I mean, you let's define winning. Like winning is
her being approved to retrieve 14 years of back child support payments.
Right.
There are people who will quit their job so that their wages are not garnished to avoid child support payments. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Yeah, she's looking to divorce her husband on paper so that the ex cannot legally come for her money. And I feel like that is indicative of what she thinks will actually happen. Like if, for instance, if somebody came out of the woodwork and was like, this, Carrick is my baby daddy and this is a child and da 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 da, I'm gonna be like, all right, you crazy. I wouldn't look at you and be like, all right, babe, so how we gonna protect these assets? You want to get a divorce? Like, that's not, it's going to be the furthest thing from my mind to divorce you in order to avoid this. I'm gonna be fighting her first. I'm like, no, first of all, we can look through all of your bank statements and see every single last dollar we, spent on Taina. Or what, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I just wouldn't think to abandon you. But the fact that she was like, all right, so let me go ahead and get my stuff. You coming or no? Because let me make sure that I don't want her taking my candles either. Like, how is she packing up shop? How you getting ready to leave? How you already, you know what I'm saying? How you going to up and leave me now? How you going to act like that?
Yeah, but
Word to
it's
Tyrese.
hilarious. I think what it is, and we can end up on this. I think what it is, seeing both sides from her perspective, giving her a lot of benefit of the doubt. But
A lot.
It isn't, at face value on paper, it's not a terrible plan. She's coming after our money.
Mm-hmm.
Our money is tied up. We good. It's just on paper. But if you gonna handle that, don't let her come over here with it, because we gotta hide some of this money, and she can't get it if we divorce. So even if that means funneling some stuff over here,
it felt like she made this decision unilaterally and is coming back and telling her husband, look, so I thought about it, let's just get a divorce on paper. What you think? He's like, are you dumb? Get a divorce.
Yeah, he not with it.
He's obviously not with it, and I can understand why he's not with it. I'd have been like, damn, you want to divorce the kid? Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
I literally,
is she tripping?
I am, okay. I think she's tripping.
I think divorce is a little extreme.
It is extreme.
Get an offshore bank account before you.
Bro, get a lawyer before you do all of this. Get an accountant.
She doesn't think that he'll win.
She has that is what I'm saying. I don't think she has any faith in her.
I ain't gonna lie.
I don't think she has any faith in her man. And she said, don't let her come over here. If your man is the type of man that you said you wanted to marry, don't you think he would have enough integrity to say, hey, listen, you cannot count my wife's funds as a part of this assessment. Whatever I owe you is what I will owe you. You cannot garnish my wife's. I'll get a second job before I let you take my wife's money.
Yeah, but the ex, they're gonna take that too. The ex does not dictate that. The court will dictate that.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, okay, the court can dictate that on paper, but he will pay for it with his money. Like, if that's my man and I know he's gonna be like, babe, I know this is a big financial blow, but you won't have to kick in on my responsibilities. Like, I'll get a second job, I'll do whatever, I'll drive Lyft, whatever, but you don't have to worry about that. She didn't even get to that part.
I mean, split up the bank accounts. You know what I'm saying? Keep his bank account separate, and so when the buck comes due, it'll be for him to pay it. But when it comes on to see how they calculate child support, also is different. It kind of varies by state too, but more times than not, they take into account your income.
Yes.
And if you guys live together,
come on,
both of y'all income, this child support shit ain't no game, bro.
It really isn't.
Once
that's why y'all listen. Y'all can call. Y'all can say what y'all want about me. Go ahead. Get your fingers ready to type. You should be cautious who you breed with.
And even if you are cautious, if something happens, I'm telling you, go run to the courts first, in my opinion.
We are talking about you are creating life. The decision that who you choose, they say all the time that, like, who you choose to marry is going to be the most important decision of your life. I think that is also true for who you decide to have a child with. That is a lifetime commitment, whether you believe it is or not. Some of y'all having kids with people that you would never marry, but you're having a child with them. if you wouldn't trust this person with your life, why would you trust them to create a life? Like, y'all see these crazy girls and be like, oh my gosh, nah, 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 nah. You get her pregnant and be like, oh, my BM tripping. No, nigga, you tripping. And the other way around. Oh, he ain't shit, da 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 da. So why would you have his child? I am confusion. Who was that guy? And we're going to end on this. Who was that dude who was on Instagram who was like, I'm not paying child support for none of my kids. Y'all knew I wasn't shit. Y'all know I
It's
got
not
10
funny.
kids and I don't care about none of them. I don't take care of none of them. You know, you let me hit it raw, and that was your problem. If you didn't want to be stuck with them kids, then you shouldn't have let me hit it raw.
Hey man, if you
And
care
that,
about your babies, go see about them, and that doesn't mean go be in their face. Like, go to the court, go
man,
legally see about your babies.
y'all
Don't
better
rely
wise
on
up.
nah. You know what I'm saying? You don't gotta do all that. We ain't gotta go to the court. We just figured out. You just hand me that. Nope. Don't do it.
Bro.
Go to court, bro.
Be
Go to
for
court.
real.
Go to court.
Shit
Have
getting
it structured.
crazy,
Because once it's
scary,
structured,
spooky,
whatever the number it is, whatever number, even
hilarious.
if you, because it's based off your income. If you don't make enough, if you don't make a lot, then they're gonna take from what you don't make a lot of. But you know that once they do that, what if she wants more money? She got to go to court for it.
That's right.
If she's if with the custody thing, like once you get custody established, even if you don't like it, you know that, hey, this is my day.
Yeah.
Legally.
Yes.
She can't pull this. Oh, I'm not coming.
Right.
She can't pull, or she can.
She can try.
Hey.
She is in violation of our
Hey.
of my visitation
Hey,
rights
man.
as a father.
Come on, bro.
Yeah.
You don't gotta argue with her outside the car
You
with the
really don't.
Nah,
You
man.
ain't gotta do none
you ain't
of
gotta do
that.
none of that stuff. It's court mandated.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey man.
Hey, y'all go listen. Be blessed out there, okay? If y'all still hanging with us, this was a good long episode, okay? We really hope you enjoyed it, because I sure enjoyed myself. All right, if y'all still here with us, God bless you, God keep you. We appreciate you. Make sure you follow us on all of the things. One thing for certain, on the TikTok, on
See about your kids.
Instagram, okay, on Spotify, all of the things. Make sure you comment, like, and most importantly, subscribe, so you can come back and see your favorite married friends. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And remember, no matter what, no matter where you go after this, make sure you go with God.
Go with God.
Okay? It is a One Thing for Certain podcast, people. Peace.
Deuces.